Hi guys, my name is Sayla Jacob and I'm the secretary for stringspark. And today I want to talk to you guys about perseverance, specifically how to persevere when you're struggling with your instrument. I think this is such an important topic because perseverance helps to build character in musicians, students, and workers alike. Learning to persevere when playing your instruments helps you to play harder music, get into more advanced bands, and achieve hard goals. And it's a really vital skill that each person and musician should have in their life. First, I want to establish that everyone struggles in their music career. New learners, people who've played for years, and prodigies alike struggle with notes and rhythms at times. And this proves that no matter how good you are at your music, perseverance is what makes or breaks a musical journey. So, the first step to learning perseverance is by breaking down bigger tasks into smaller, manageable pieces. When you're given a hard piece of music or tasked with learning a difficult skill, it can be really overwhelming and at times discouraging when you work at it and you see no results. It can be really hard to keep on learning without seeing much progress, which is why it is so important to break down huge tasks into smaller steps. This not only makes the task seem less daunting, but it shows you the first step that you should take in order to achieve your goal. So one time I used this technique was when I was tasked with learning the G scale in around middle school. And when I was first given this task, I was really scared and nervous because I couldn't hit the notes and they were way too high and out of my range. And at first I was really daunted, but then I used this technique. First, I learned the finger pattern for the scale, which means I learned how to play each note without actually blowing through the trumpet. So had a mental picture of how to play each note. Next, I learned how to hit each note while blowing air through the trumpet, and I did this using long tones, which is when you hold out each note for a really long note value, like two whole notes or something like that. Next, I started putting the notes together at a really slow tempo, and this removed the overwhelming aspect of the scale and allowed me to really think about each note before I played it. And then I eventually sped up the metronome, and now I'm really good at the G scale and I can play through the whole range at a super fast tempo. So, this technique is super useful, and I've used it a lot in my own musical journey. Another way you can use this technique is when you're doing runs on the clarinet, for example. The first thing you can do is go through each note, make sure you know how to play each one, and make sure you know the finger pattern. Then, like I did, start at a low metronome setting, play it really slowly, and make sure you can process each note, and eventually speed it up. And soon enough, you'll know how to play each and every scale because breaking down these big tasks into smaller pieces is so useful. And as you can see from my previous examples, slowing down the metronome is a key step to breaking down huge tasks and is a really important step when learning how to play music at faster tempos. Another way you can learn perseverance is by taking breaks. When you're doing something for a really long time and you're still struggling, it can easily cause burnout, which is why it is so important to take small breaks throughout your learning process. During such breaks, you should reflect on your mistakes and the reason why you are making them. So when you finally do come back from your break, you can use your reflection to improve on your mistakes and learn your music more efficiently. The third way to learn perseverance is by setting small, attainable goals. By setting these goals, you give yourself small victories to celebrate and motivate yourself when you're working to achieve a larger goal, which is why this kind of ties into our very first step, which was breaking down huge tasks into smaller, manageable pieces. The fourth way to learn perseverance is by avoiding comparison. When you compare yourself to others, you lose the opportunity to grow as a person and a musician. It's important to remember that everyone is on their own stage in their musical and personal journey. And you also may have skills that other people may not have. So, by comparing yourself to others, you lose the opportunity to reflect on your own skills and your own strengths. Well, that's all I have for you on our podcast about perseverance. I just want to reiterate that perseverance helps build character. And even though hard tasks may seem annoying at times, they help you to grow as a musician and as a person and a worker. I really hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.